What's up, guys? LQ here with the LQ Review. Thank you so much for joining me here at my YouTube channel. This is where I talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff that I love to talk about. Movies, video games, comic books, and TV shows. And right now, I'm going to rank the 3 Venom movies from worst to best. And I'm telling you right now that I've got some hot takes on here. This is probably not going to match any other ranking because my favorite film in the Venom franchise, I think, are most people's least favorite. But let's just hop into it. For me, number 3, and this is again another hot take because I think number 3 is most people's favorite one. But for me, number 3 is the first Venom. I had a good time watching this. I did. I would give both. I would give all 3 of these movies a positive review. I had a good time watching the first Venom. For me, the first Venom kind of felt like the most generic in a way. Um, I loved seeing Eddie Brock meet the symbiote. I loved seeing who he is, and seeing him do the investigative journalism thing that we kind of lose as we get later into this series. So that was all great. I think that one thing comic book movies are really doing a lot of these days is making the primary antagonist a carbon copy of the protagonist. And that's something that really happens here in the first Venom, is that the antagonist, this businessman who happens to, and who ends up getting a symbiote attached to him, it's just too much like the protagonist. And the final battle, there were times where I was like, okay, I don't know which one is which. Again, I liked this movie. It was fun. But I feel like this movie did a really good job of establishing the relationship between Eddie and Venom, what the symbiotes are, so that the other movies could be better. That's my take on it. I know most people probably put this one as their best. In fact, I know the other rankings I've seen, most of them have this one as the best one. But for me, it's not the best. All right. Number 2. Again, people are going to be like, what? Number 2 is Venom: The Last Dance. So this was the most recent one. I had a lot of fun with it. This was a good, bad movie. So objectively, I watch Venom: The Last Dance, and I say, yeah, this wasn't a good movie, but man, I had fun with it. And there's a lot of movies out there like that, right? Where you're like, okay, I can't say this is a good movie, but I liked it. That's how I feel about Venom: The Last Dance. The script was all over the place. Some of it didn't make sense. I felt like there was either a lot of cut scenes or a lot of ideas left out of the script, to save for running time, because I feel like this movie could have been quite a bit longer. There was a family in this that it was weird, where they went on a road trip with Eddie, and the dad apparently has no problem putting his family in great mortal danger just to step foot on Area 51. There was some weird stuff in this. But what I really liked about this was the continued relationship between Eddie and Venom. And we've gotten to the point now where you can tell that there's genuine connection there. They care about each other, and they want each other to be okay. And because of that, the third act of this movie was impactful. What I also liked about it was that in the third act of this movie, they're not fighting another symbiote like they did in the first 2. It was creatures, but it wasn't symbiotes. So because of that, the action was a little bit easier to follow than it was in the first movie, where you weren't sure which one was which. Good, bad movie. Not a good script, but it was fun. All right. So, process of elimination. Everybody knows what my favorite one is. My favorite one is Venom: Let There Be Carnage. And I think most of the list I've seen, people have this one as at last. But for me, this is when the Eddie Venom bromance was at its best. They went through their breakup period, and that was funny, and entertaining. Carnage, I know that they didn't really do Carnage justice like people would have liked to have seen it. I still thought Carnage was compelling. I still thought that Woody Harrelson did a good job of portraying him. I thought the final battle in the church was excellent. The comedy was on point. And, bringing in Shriek, I thought was also a great move. Having someone else with powers in this world it really worked for me. So for me, I thought Venom Let There Be Carnage was the film that had the tightest script, the most well-written script, the best action, the best comedy, the best examples of the Eddie Venom bromance. So for me, Let There Be Carnage is the best in the franchise. But that's just my take on it. How would you guys rank these? Let me know in the comments down below. While you're down there commenting, make sure you subscribe to my channel, and until next time, we'll see you guys later.